Welcome to Biology Teaching and Learning video. This video will be explain about reversible and irreversible inhibitions. First, I will briefly explain inhibitors and inhibition. An inhibitor is a molecules that bind to an enzyme and reduce the rate of enzyme reactions. In other words, inhibitors prevent the substrate from binding with the enzyme to form enzyme-substrate complex. Meanwhile, inhibition is the process or effect that happens when the inhibitor reduces enzyme activity. First, I briefly explain about enzyme inhibitions. Enzyme inhibition happens when a substance interferes with the enzyme's ability to catalyze a reaction. There are two categories: reversible and irreversible. Reversible inhibition happens when the inhibitor binds loosely and temporarily to the enzyme. The activity of enzyme is restored to normal when the inhibitor is removed. Meanwhile, the irreversible inhibition occurs when an inhibitor binds tightly and permanently to the enzyme, usually forms strong covalent bond with the enzyme. Inhibitor cannot be removed, enzyme can't carry out its catalytic function. Reversible inhibition can be further divided into competitive and non-competitive inhibition. First is competitive inhibition. The name, competitive, indicates the competition between the substrate and the inhibitor. Why? Because a competitive inhibitor has a similar shape to the substrate, so the inhibitor will compete with the substrate to bind to the active site of the enzyme. When the inhibitor binds to the active site, it prevents the substrate from binding, thus the enzyme-substrate complex is not formed. As a result, no products are formed and the rate of reaction decreases. To reduce the effect of inhibition, the substrate concentration should be increased. This gives the substrate a greater chance to bind to the active site. So, in competitive inhibition, the same quantity of product is formed, but it takes a longer time. The second type of reversible inhibition is non-competitive inhibition. In this case, there is no competition between the substrate and the inhibitor because a non-competitive inhibitor has a different shape from the substrate. The non-competitive inhibitor binds to the allosteric site of the enzyme. When the inhibitor binds to this site, it alters the conformation of the enzyme's active site, preventing the substrate from binding and therefore stopping the formation of the enzyme-substrate complex. As a result, no products are formed and the rate of reaction decreases. This graph shows that increasing the substrate concentration will not reduce the effect of the inhibition. This is because non-competitive inhibitors and substrates do not compete for the same active site. To reduce the effect of inhibition, the concentration of the inhibitors must be decreased or the inhibitors must be removed. To help deepen your understanding of enzyme inhibition, feel free to explore the video prepared for you. Thanks for watching, and keep learning. To help deepen your understanding of enzyme inhibition, feel free to explore the video prepared for you. Thanks for watching, and keep learning.